So take a moment and close your eyes. Just try and clear your head, clear your mind. And if you can't do that, take a deep breath. Maybe that'll help. It helps me. What I want you to do is try and think back and visualize to the biggest competition or event of your life, something that you prepared really hard for. Now, with that thought, think about what was going on in your head. I want you to think really hard and try and visualize it like you were just there. Okay, now for me, what I was thinking before, my biggest competition, which was my title fight that just happened, was that I knew I was prepared and ready for this, and that I worked really hard, and that nothing was going to get in my way because I did everything in my power to be prepared for this. Time and time again before this event, my mom would always tell me, one day, son, I'm going to write a book about you, and it's going to be called My Son the Fighter. I guess because I've been really fighting since I was in the womb. Because due to the fact that I was born 3 months earlier, I was 2 pounds 5 ounces. It was a constant struggle for my survival, and the odds were so stacked against me, but I fought through it, and I managed to become a healthy, normal boy. And basically throughout my whole childhood until the 7th grade, my friends and I would be in my backyard wrestling all the time. And I was the smallest guy, so I would always have to compete the hardest I would always have to fight the hardest to compete with them. And I guess due to my nature of fighting and wrestling, I loved it. So in the summer of 2009, I started training MMA, and I guess it just clicked, and I instantly fell in love. It was like a drug to me. And I guess due to my competitive nature, after 6 months of training MMA, I started competing. I did really well, and in my third or fourth competition, they already put me in the expert division. And if you won the expert division, you got a title belt. And I got my ass kicked. I had such high hopes that I was ready, and I did so well in the competitions that I was going to win this. And I got my ass kicked. And every time I tried, I got my ass kicked until one summer I was just fed up with it. So maybe a year later, the next summer, I started training just every day, all day, until I competed at the end of the summer. And all my hard work paid off, and I won. I was happy. I finally won that belt. And this is the belt. I finally won. It was a very happy moment for me. And I'll talk about another love for me, but it didn't start off as a love. It's the sport of wrestling. I wrestled for Sherwood High School, and I hated it. I started wrestling freshman year, and I hated it. Until junior year, at regional tournament, I lost, and that moment, it just started sparking me, and I fell in love instantly. And that was at the end of the season. So that whole off season, for a year, I trained as hard as I could. I did all the off season, competed as much as I could, for the hopes of becoming a state champion the following year. And it was the regional tournament again, and you had to place top 4 to make it to states, and unlucky draws and calls in the matches, and I got 5th. And it was just such a hard blow to me, all that hard work. But the biggest loss in my life, I was coming home from work one day, and I had new boxing gloves coming in. I was so excited to try them out. And I get a call from my friend, and he tells me my best friend Blake had killed himself, and I just hung out with him the night before. And there's a picture of him. I don't know if you can see it well, but that was the biggest loss of my life. And he had this tattoo on his chest, and it said, "Heart of a Lion." And another thought that was going on through my head before this championship fight was that I knew he was on my side, and that I was going to walk out into this fight with the heart of a lion. So yeah, finally, I've been a fighter since before I was born, since birth. And it may seem that I'm walking out into these fights alone, but I'm not. I have years of hard work, hundreds of competitions, dozens of trials and tribulations, successes and failures, and I have tons of people that have shaped and molded me into a young man that walks out to the fights with the heart of a lion. And my mom may not write a book one day about me called My Son the Fighter, but I know for a fact that she was right. I am in fact her son the fighter.